All right. Good afternoon, everybody. I am Imrul as a first year PhD student at Professor Sean Thomas Lab, Institute of Forestry and Conservation at Daniels University of Toronto. So today I'm going to speak about greenhouse gas flux from urban land use practices. So yeah, let's get into that details. Okay, so urban environmental resilience is critical under ongoing climate change scenario. While more than 40% global population are living in urban areas, although only 2% of Earth's surface is covered by urban areas. So here are some important traits about our resilient city. So what we call a resilient city, that should have a healthy ecosystem services, and the ecosystem functions are diverse. That's adequate natural resources are available, coherent policy towards land use, and also Paris Agreement directs us to ensure net zero emission by 2050. Under this multidimensional stress, we need to rethink about our urban environment, particularly in terms of how we may preserve urban green spaces. While urban trees and forests are essential part of urban green infrastructure, they need to grow and survive in substantially stressed urban soil. So if we talk about attributes of urban soil, that's because whatever we want to grow, we need to grow on soil. While these urban soils are mostly disturbed and modified urban soil in terms of their soil structures, high soil bulk density, and because of lots of anthropogenic disturbances are going on the urban soil. So when it comes about the urban soil, there are some specific attributes we can talk about. So urban soils are mostly disturbed soils through various anthropogenic activities in terms of high soil compaction, and that are the problems that causes the poor oxygen availability in urban soil, and that also modified soil temperature regimes, and urban soils are exposed to urban pollutants, and all these things contribute to the poor and interrupted nutrient cycling, and that also modify the urban microbial activity. So what's are the method that the way we can deal with the urban soil? So from very ancient time, the mulching, whether it is organic or inorganic mulching, is a traditional tool to deal with the urban soil, with a view to helping the increasing the moisture retention capacity of urban soil, with wood separation, competitive wood separation from in the urban trees. And also these days, another important aspect of mulching is added, that's a beautification and aesthetic value in urban landscape. So there are some urban landscape mulching types in Toronto. Apart from urban trees, mulches are also seen in this landscape and playgrounds, and there are so many other aspects. So you will see the urban wood chips or the bark mulches available in the urban ecosystems, and that's a very prevalent throughout the North American urban settings. So these are the pictures I have just collected from around the U of T downtown campus, and we see here there are treated mulches, brown colored and black colored mulches are given in the substrates. So okay, why we are talking about mulch when our research title is about greenhouse gas flux measurement? It's because of this research recently been done from our lab by other PhD students, and that motivates us to think about the potential link between mulch and methane. So this research is showing the log landing in a forest, in a managed forest. So that log landing is a hotspot of methane emission, and which is the rate is comparable to the methane emission from a wetlands. So that's exciting. I mean, that's not a good news. So keeping that scenario in mind, I went through the literature, and we found that the decay process of methane is a decay process of wood chips in in the bioethanol industry, there where wood chips is stored for some period of time in Europe, and they found the decay process of that wood chip emits carbon dioxide and methane too. So the question is, where does this methane come from in log landings or wood chip stack? Could the urban mulching be a potential source of methane too? If so, what could be the potential solution of this? I would say popular practice, but still, if that is a bad in terms of greenhouse gas emission, so what could be the best substitute to handle that issue in managing the or in practicing the urban green infrastructure, maybe urban trees and urban forests? So in general, wood chips or logs undergo decomposition with time under favorable condition in presence of soil microbes. Depending on the substrate condition, the types of microbes varies. So when wood chips and logs are deposited in soil underneath, that may be modified the higher compaction, and sometimes may retain more moisture that just makes soil anoxic and contribute to process of methanogenesis. So being porous, biochar may help in this regard. Since urban soils are compact and more like anoxic in nature, mulch can do the same thing in urban areas. And we thought, if organic mulches are source of greenhouse gases, what could be best substitute? In that case, in that question, we thought biochar could be a best substitute, because just as we have the literature supports that idea too, and just if we recall the previous presentation from Green Roof, biochar helps in as a acts as a methane sink in green roofs. So keeping that ideas in mind, our research question is urban mulching is a potential source of methane and carbon dioxide emission? What role biochar may play in mitigating methane and carbon dioxide emission from urban mulching? What is the most efficient method of biochar application in terms of mitigating methane and carbon dioxide emission from urban mulching? So our hypothesis is wood chips mulch will have higher methane and carbon dioxide emission compared to bark mulches and biochar treated pots due to higher bulk density, less soil porosity. So biochar application will mitigate methane and carbon dioxide emission, and mixing with mulch will result much greater effect. So to address those questions and to prove those hypotheses, we are gonna throwing this experiment into the it's going to be a long-term field incubation. It's all so far this kind of like incubation to study tree physiology and those things, or maybe the decomposition. We see a short-term decomposition, but we are planning a long-term field incubation into the forestry courtyard camp courtyard in the in the UFT downtown campus. So we are using we have designed a 10 centimeter diameter PVC chambers that's with 25 centimeter height, and that's we are just designing them with the following treatments. Like the treatments details are shown in this flowchart, and we are using the mulch treatments 2-inch thicks, which is adapted from City of Toronto recommendation. They are just recommending their 2 to 4-inch depths of mulches, and we are using in this case biochar doses 50 ton per hectare, and 15 centimeter soil depths will be adopted in these experiments because this is a conventional plow depth. And from the above design, that's an augmented factorial design. And there are some other questions like, what could be the surface and mixed combination? The surface and mixed combination is missing in this in this design, and then we are gonna we thought we should add that as a applied consideration. So that's how we are just adding more experimental units as a supplement to answer that that applied question, how surface and mixed combination may help or may influence the greenhouse gas emissions from mulching and barger. So that's I'm not going that detail now. And greenhouse gas flux, mainly carbon dioxide and methane flux, will be measured. This experiment is going to be like in field by next week. So I'm planning to continue this experiment this growing season and the next growing season. And I'm going to measure the greenhouse gas flux with soil moisture and temperature will be monitored. And a little weather station we are gonna install in the courtyard, and that will monitor ambient air temperature, relative humidity, and precipitation data. And soil also be collected after each growing season to measure pH, bulk density, and microbial biodiversity, and probably soil enzyme activity. And we are expecting biochar use will reduce greenhouse emission, particularly methane from urban soil, improved understanding of soil greenhouse gas flux and budget that has long been overlooked from urban soil, and that will be implied in sustainable urban forestry practices and more resilient city eventually. Thank you.